coming to you live from my brother's apartment where the Wi-Fi is good. Man, I am such a good singer. It's WrestleZone. Yes, live on Facebook, on YouTube, and your podcast ears that have no fears. I'm talking about WrestleZone Radio, the podcast feed. If you have not subscribed, go do it. We have exclusive interviews up there this week with Duke the Dumpster Drosy. What a deep dive we went in there. And also we have interviews with John Moxley, Christian, and so much more. You can go back in the archives, check out the interviews with Chris Jericho, whole bunch of stuff. You want some wrestling audio, something to listen to while you're going through your day, we got it for you. If you're watching live, share the link. We're going to get really, really engaging today. I am Kevin Kellum from WrestleZone. Joining me over there, over there is the man in Tampa where WrestleMania was supposed to be, but it's not there. No, that's Robert DeFilos. Robert, we already got people talking about AEW texting in on screen. We got AEW Double or Nothing tomorrow night. We just did the conference call a little while ago. We'll talk about that. What are you pumped for in the world of wrestling?
I think AEW they own the week. Mm-hmm. I think especially now with the lack of local shows and the lack of lots of things, people really latch on to these super cards and these pay-per-views. And AEW's got a good one coming up on Saturday night.
And it is a pay-per-view. We talked about this on our Dynamite NXT post show. You guys can go check that out. It's up on the Facebook feed. It's up on the YouTube, all that good stuff. But Double or Nothing is a pay-per-view. It's a hurdle they seemingly always have to get over. That seems like it's a big price point. For 6 years, we've had the WWE Network, $10 a month, right? And you've had different pay-per-views you can buy here and there, but this is one you're going to spend, depending on what pay-per-view provider you're getting it on, $50. All right. And so that's a lot for some people to handle right now with the pandemic. We just talked about how many people filed for unemployment, non-wrestling related things, but it's pretty crazy when you think about it here. This show has a big card to it, though. So if you do want to put your money down, they got something on the table here that looks pretty strong, doesn't it?
It does look pretty strong. My issue with the price point is for a company that is so forward thinking in a lot of ways, this is their one drawback where they're like, let's make them pay traditional pay-per-view pricing. I assume this will be eradicated at some point, right?
How do you assume that will be eradicated?
Because it's just the forward-moving progression of media. Eventually, HBO Max will get a live portal, or, Bleacher Report will come up with some smaller subscription-based service. It's just the way the world is moving.
You absolutely bring that up. Coming up here on the 27th or here on the 21st of May, Warner Media, which owns TNT, which broadcasts AEW Dynamite, is launching HBO Max. And I find it odd that you hear about all these big properties that Warner Media owns. They own DC Comics, so you're going to get the Zack Snyder Justice.
I am not my corporately mandated persona. I am not my material possessions. I am not reliant on authority to tell me what is right and what is wrong. I will not let my value be based on comics, likes, or followers. I will not seek affirmation from toxic groupthink. I will not filter my authenticity of self. I am essential, and I will speak my truth through words and actions. I will wear betrayal as a wound of battle. I will pursue vengeance with a primitive and relentless force. I vow to find freedom. I vow to find purpose. I vow to create something that will last. I am essential, and I control my narrative. Free, EC3. You have been warned.
It is a hurdle they have to get over here. Sean Smith texting and said pay-per-views went from $20 to $60, I believe.
Once upon a time, if you watch the increments go up, the draw of In Your House back in the day was, hey, we'll give you an hour and a half of stuff for like $10. Mm-hmm. And then everything became, 3 hours, $60. But as we've seen, it's reverted backwards. Now, I wonder if WWE accomplishes whatever they want to accomplish with these discussions with these majors, as Vince McMahon says. If they revert
that was
back,
all pre-pandemic, man. I think that could be out the window. So who knows?
No, but he still insists that that's still a thing. I wonder if they backpedal and they go back to pay-per-view premium price, and AEW then doesn't have to move because they would only need to follow the competition, I would imagine.
True. It's up in the air. I mean, there was plenty of talk before this got going that people thought maybe WWE would revert to having bigger events on a pay-per-view and then everything else on the network. Your big four would be on pay-per-view, which I'm still not opposed to. I don't think that's as big a deal. Now, obviously, WrestleMania, I think, should be on the network. It's the network. It's WrestleMania. It's a whole other thing. But if they just started doing some events where like this will only be on pay-per-view, and it's not WrestleMania, it's not Royal Rumble, maybe you like it, give it a shot. There was some talk of that. If you want to be in bed with ESPN Plus, you're going to have to offer a pay-per-view. That's what they're doing with UFC. So it's a whole different thing here. AEW, though, they're lined in the pocket of Warner Media. So I just find it odd that they're on this BR Live service that Warner has and not HBO Max, which is the thing they're putting all this marketing money into. But who knows?
It's still the baby. It's still the, all right, let's watch it grow and see if we should integrate it to the rest of the family.
All right, we covered AEW Double or Nothing a little bit on the surface. We covered a lot last night. If you did not listen to that episode, it was really, really fun. We did cover that scandalous story involving John Cena and Nikki Bella, and our friends at Rest Friends, Teddy and Iridian, had some takes on it involving what was not allowed to be in the Bella Twins book, according to someone that one of the Bella Twins used to date. So that was very. If you want the gossip, we had some hot goss, some hot dripping gossip.
That story is actually live now.
Yeah,
and
so go check it out.
It's a little different than we pitched it, but it is a story that a certain somebody vetoed, but it was actually a lot more complimentary to him than we had believed.
All right, so AEW Double or Nothing is on Saturday night. Cody Rhodes, just Cody? We're just going with Cody. One of the EVPs, and of course, the man will compete for the TNT Championship in the final against the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer. This Saturday night, did a conference call just about an hour or so before you and I went on air this afternoon. He didn't reveal too much. Now, obviously, there's a conference call. WrestleZone was on with all the media. And he did talk about some different things, specifically about how AEW is dealing with the COVID-19 epidemic and how strict their testing protocol is, and how much they are testing people in blocks, and how they are testing the crew separate from these people, and how the scenario has really been challenging, and how he feels that plenty of wrestling talents, both in front of the camera and behind the camera, will develop a new skill set from this. I thought that was a good spin on this thing, but it still seems like a challenging thing. He definitely was in very executive speak during this whole thing. We didn't get too much of a reveal, but we did learn some different things in terms of how the TNT Championship will be placed in the company moving forward. The TNT Champion will not be a part of any rankings. So if you're that champion, you won't be involved in any rankings here, and you'll be considered the number 2 star in the company. So that was something I was a little bit more pull back on that. We have Cody taking on Lance Archer. This is the tournament final. This is the final that a lot of people thought we were going to get. Cody has Arn Anderson as his coach in his corner, along with Brandy, and he's taking on the Murder Hawk from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Lance Archer, who came in and wrecked people in this tournament, including Cody's brother. He will have Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner. They built up to this. They made Lance Archer a monster, and now he gets to face the valiant hero of the Elite, Cody. What do you think of this match? Can it live up to the hype? Has the hype been there to sell you on this match?
It's a different kind of hype than AEW typically gets. AEW's hype is typically one of, oh, we're going to have a good match. This is, okay, you've made it personal. Jake the Snake Roberts has been very non-PC about the way he has referred to Brandy Rhodes. I believe when Arn Anderson spoke about Mike Tyson, he said, I wish that Bimbo Brandy was the one presenting the championship so that I could get to see her again. Like, Jake Roberts is really, really pushing it with the way he's speaking about Brandy. And I think the draw there is to see Cody defend his wife's honor and also launch this new title with arguably your biggest single star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cody definitely is that. He's a character that they've had some of the more compelling stories. The year or so they've been on producing content, and since they've been on television since October, he's been the guy that fans seemingly get behind. Those documentary cameras follow him, and people get behind those storylines with him and really ride with him on all this different stuff. Who wins, though? Is he the guy that gets that title? Is he the guy who needs that title?
I think the answer to both of those questions, in my opinion, is yes. He definitely is somebody who should win, and he definitely needs it. Because Cody has openly said he's not doing the world title. He doesn't want to be the Booker / world champion, but he's not opposed to being a champion. He still wants to be a credible wrestler and a top guy in that regard. So yeah, I think this is the perfect title for him.
Now there is the X Factor that got added, and this is something that Cody did reveal. A lot of people want to know, what about Mike Tyson's involvement? Mike Tyson is a fan of wrestling, a fan of AEW, met them backstage at Double or Nothing last year, and will be presenting the TNT Championship to the winner. And he will, as revealed on this week's Dynamite, he will have free roam at ringside. So you will get some physicality, I think, from one Iron Mike Tyson. Of course, he's gone viral recently with videos of him training, rumors of him getting back in the boxing ring, and even saying he wants to do it for big, big bucks. Is this going to be a draw for them at all, for last-minute casuals? I mean, I don't know how much this moves the needle, but are there people that go and say, oh, I'm going to spend $50 to see what happens with Mike Tyson?
No, I don't think anybody spends $50. But I think people monitor social media and then will tune into Dynamite maybe.
Okay, so it'll get them the attention they want out of it.
Yeah, it's that attention now is different than it was 30 years ago or even 20 years ago. We don't know what they're going to do with Tyson. And if he's just going to uppercut Archer, did I really spend $50 to watch Mike Tyson work uppercut a guy? It's a weird ask.
Carl Barma asking, any idea on the runtime of Double or Nothing? I would assume this is a 3-hour show. Could be a 4-hour show. They've done 4-hour pay-per-views, haven't they?
I'd imagine it's a 3-hour, maybe even 2.5. It all depends on how much they have going and what they want to do.
And so we get this Cody versus Murder Hawk match. I think Cody wins it, but the problem with this, and this is the issue I had with the long built-up match they did with MJF and Cody, there's a lot of bells and whistles. There's a lot of people at ringside. You get 3 different people at four people at ringside, and you're not even bringing in the referee there. So there's a lot of different things that are going to be involved here. For lack of a better phrase, and we're talking about Cody, son of Dusty Rhodes, there's going to be a dusty finish. There is no way that they come out of this match with a clean victory over Lance Archer, who they spent a lot of time building up on. This is the first match, and I think will be a few matches. Cody gets out with the title, but I don't think he gets out with all of himself. Is that fair to say? That's my preview of that.
That is fair. I definitely think it has to go to Cody, but I will agree with you that we see a little bit too much of the Gaga in the Cody matches. I think that's a trope that he really likes to play on.
It is quite the trope here. A lot of people with different takes here. Brian Casper saying this pay-per-view looks like hot fire. Nishad Dwa texts again saying this is going to be the best pay-per-view ever. All right.
Really? I mean, in about 3 weeks, you got Edge and Randy Orton in the greatest wrestling match of all time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, folks.
Russell Haddix, or a good man down in Georgia, saying AEW now wanting mainstream attention aside from the regulars? ? Yes. If you promote any show, you want anyone to watch your show. Obviously,
you want to grow your brand.
You don't
That's a weird thing. The AEW embraces the regulars, but of course you want to grow your brand.
The other questions coming in here about the ladder match, the casino ladder match. Ray Phoenix has been a guy who's been laying out other people in the lead up to this match. We have several big stars in it and a mystery opponent, and maybe even know Ray Phoenix because he took a nasty spill this week on Dynamite on the floor, and there is talks of him being injured, though the word is that he is somehow ready to go for Saturday. Other superstars were injured on this week's Dynamite, including Britt Baker. Her status is very questionable. She was taken out of the ring and assisted backstage by AEW officials and referees, so we don't know what her future is. Now, mind you, she she wasn't super booked on the show. I don't think she had a match on the show. Am I correct?
She did. She's supposed to work Chris Statlander. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens there.
Okay, yeah, so that is up in the air. All right, so that was not on my notes. But talking about this ladder match, though, the risk of injury going into it is pretty high, especially in the AEW, where it seems like everyone's going for broke. What about this ladder match? Winner gets a shot at the champion moving forward. Obviously, this is a match that's going to elevate somebody. Who do you got pick? Is your pick to click here? Because it's a ladder match with many, many people involved. Colt Cabana, I would love to see win it, though I don't see him winning it.
So there's a ninth man that is a mystery. And when you have a mystery man in a match like this, people want to tend to assume it will be the mystery man. I think we have a steady pattern of Darby Allin just, going for the belt, and he's reckless. So I can see him winning it for sure. Unless that ninth man is like somebody so great and shocking that we need to just go with the mystery guy right away.
About this mystery man, now obviously a lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to be one of the people released from WWE in April, right? Or was it just earlier this month in the beginning of May? No, because a lot of those people were released on terms with a 90-day non-compete clause. One of those teams, a lot of people say, oh, the OC is going to show up. You're going to have Machine Gun, Carl Anderson, and Luke Ells. They're going to be at the paper. They were not. Furthermore, those guys are going to be doing their own private live stream. The Drink with the Boys, Boozing with the Boys. You'll be able to get into that 5 p.m. their time, and all that is on their socials. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of pressure right now on AEW from their fan base to try and get people to jump from WWE. Is that what this spot is going to be used for? Who could be available for that? I mean, unless somebody has certain terms in their contract where they got let go and they would be able to do that, it could work. A lot of people say, oh, Drew Gulak. Maybe Drew Gulak, who was just on SmackDown last Friday on Fox.
He wasn't let go.
He was not released. He didn't have a 90-day non-compete. His contract came up and he chose not to re-sign it. So a lot of people pointed that out. Now, that isn't us reporting from WrestleZone that it could, but it's like if there is a possibility, that looks like the only one right now that's in play. All those other guys that got released, guys and gals, I don't see them in play here because they're probably still under that 90-day non-compete, which even though you can say WWE is awful for doing that, they're protecting their interests. They want that guy to jump over to the other thing and vice versa. I think if AEW released somebody, they would do the same thing.
I see Brian Casper here saying, plot twist, it could be Ryder joining the Revolt and EC3. Now, EC3 is a guy who could be a major star wherever he goes. He's doing some things, he's...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying the guy can't be talented or anything like that, or isn't capable of it, but, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean... Obviously, everybody says Zack Ryder because Cody Rhodes is like, best buds with Zack Ryder. Him and Ryder are like 1 and 2. Apparently, I could see it being Zack Ryder. Marty Scurll is free.
The thing about Marty Scurll, people bring that up. Marty Scurll is the head creative booker of Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor has not done any content. They've gone into complete lockdown. They're producing best ofs and social media, different things with their fans, and they're kind of looking to see how this all pans out. And I think, but Marty is a guy who said, "Yeah, I'd be open to it." I think it'd be good for Ring of Honor.
It'd be a hell of a boost.
It would be, if that happened, you want to talk about something that moves the needle with the AEW crowd, they would lose their mind. They would lose their mind if that happened.
But the thing is, if you make the ninth man somebody who isn't already working there, the pressure is then on for this person to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think somebody who wins is going to be somebody who is announced, like a Darby Allin or a Scorpio Sky. I don't see it being anybody, unless it's somebody who's already employed. Like MJF just sneaks in as the ninth man, climbs up a ladder, grabs a chip, and runs out of there.
Michael off saying maybe it's Sting. Is Sting gonna come out of retirement? He couldn't have a match in WWE because they wouldn't let him. Okay, they wouldn't let him do that, and they besmirched him. And then he will go over to AEW with man called Sting, and he's going to be the Crow, and he's going to take down Vincent Kennedy McMahon. you could see the fantasy bookers losing their mind. I don't see Sting having another match. If he does anything physical, it's very limited. If he does anything with AEW, it is appearances. People saying the mystery man is Kevin. No comment. I have no comment about that. I have no comment whatsoever.
Let's go back to Sting for a second. I want to hammer this home. No, he is 62 years old. So if he does anything, he won't be working in a ladder match with people many years his junior. I do see
now. Whoa, this is a great idea. Sean Smith brought this up. AEW with a coup of the year signing the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah, that would be crazy. You know, where's the one I want here? There's one. He says Terry Funk could be the ninth man. You satchel ass. I'm gonna whip your head, Raw. He's gonna put the ladder on his head and spin around like he did in ECW.
You know, and he was over the hill then. Some say. Some 22 years ago.
Sean with a bunch of doozies says it's going to be the Shockmaster.
Here's the thing with Sting, and I'm going to put this out there. I do see him in AEW. I do think that by Labor Day...
Making appearances? Just like making appearances and being involved in stuff?
I do think that by Labor Day he'll be with the company and he'll be the mentor of Darby Allin. And that's my money. That's what I've been saying since I heard he's no longer under contract, and I'm sticking to that until proven otherwise.
I'm trying to find the text here, but someone said, what about Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson's there. What if Mike Tyson goes up that ladder? He gets in the ring, punches everyone out, and just walks up the ladder and grabs that case, and he becomes... I mean, whoop! Would that be something?
I happen to know that Mike Tyson doesn't like heights.
Okay.
I don't think... trust me, I would love that. I think that's a hell of a coup for the company, but I don't think Mike Tyson is going to win a right to a ladder match.
Now, you can confirm this. We know that the Gobbledygooker will not be ascending the ladder at AEW Double or Nothing. Gobbledygooker, the Feathered Warrior. He is the current reigning WrestleZone Daily Fast Food Champion. You want to watch that? Watch the Gooker in action. Go to our Facebook feed to search in the videos. WrestleZone. Yummy in the bank.
Yes.
All the ridiculousness. A lot of people different things here. But this ladder match is going to be crazy. I think there's a lot of leaning on these big, for lack of a better phrase, spot fest matches that AEW can deliver with the talent they have, and you're going to get plenty of it here. I know Darby Allin's going to do something crazy. Does he do a coffin drop on a ladder?
I don't want to see him hurt himself. I really don't. I worry about Darby Allin. I think he throws a lot of caution to the wind. And it's concerning.
It's quite concerning. We're talking AEW Double or Nothing this Saturday night on pay-per-view domestically. You get it through BR Live and traditional pay-per-view subscribers in the United States. And you can get it internationally on Fight.tv. We'll have all the coverage live as it happens and a live post-show on Saturday night right here on Facebook Live, YouTube, and we'll also have it up for you on the WrestleZone Radio podcast feed. Moving along here on the card, other matches that I'm excited for. The Stadium Stampede. I love the aesthetics of this. In terms of no fan wrestling, this could be the, quote, biggest no fan wrestling match you could think of. They're going to have a separate ring away from Daily Place where they've been doing all the matches. They're going to have a separate ring at the 50-yard line, the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're gonna have I've seen pictures online that look great where they've spray painted Elite on the field, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah.
This looks pretty sweet. We're gonna get the Elite versus the Inner Circle. The Young Bucks are back. Hangman Page is back. Omega.
Did you see him? I know you don't watch because you're busy watching NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him run down, just sprint down the field? Like, I knew it was him because obviously he's the one that got missing, but this blur enters the fray and then just starts running, and he gets down there quick. I mean, boy is talented. As that one talented cowboy, he gives new meaning to the term horsepower, and lots of other horse innuendo there that I will leave there. But I think Hangman Page, in due time, is going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world.
And he's certainly on that list, of top tier talent that AEW has. How do you see this match going down? This is an anything goes. They're going to have a ring, but obviously this is going to get all over that stadium. They're going to get into a bunch of different crazy stuff here. We kind of experienced that a few weeks ago with a very memed, retweeted, talked about match with the Elite's kind of surrogate member, Matt Hardy, and Kenny Omega taking on Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Jericho leading his Inner Circle squadron. The Young Bucks and the Elite Boys get into battle. The core group of guys that AEW really loves, that their fans really love. And Paige and Bucks weren't there for a while. Matt Jackson may be hurt, so we don't know how much he'll be.
That's gonna suck. I need them to be at full capacity. My hope for this match is Matt Hardy takes the fall, and the Inner Circle wins, and we can kind of move Matt Hardy out of the Elite equation, get him in his own thing, and do blood and guts with the proper Elite and the proper Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And is this the match to watch on the pay-per-view with all the seems like the one that's going to have the most fan service in it, in terms of jokes, in terms of craziness, in terms of being as close to a final deletion match where you can go around.
This
and do
has
anything.
About 90% of the core AEW team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got the Elite and Jericho. The only one I would say missing would be Cody Rhodes and maybe John Moxley, but you know, this has the meat of why people came to AEW a year ago. Mm-hmm. And now we're talking, this is going to be the most fun match I think they put on to date.
Tell me about this. We're going to see Nyla Rose, the AEW Women's Champion, take on, I'm always brutal with this name. I hate mispronouncing names.
Hikaru Shida.
Thank you. Hikaru Shida. I used to do that very well. I did not want to say, I don't want to say Shida wrong. Say something else. She's been pretty strong. She's been featured in a handful of different matches, but I don't think anytime you ever thought that she was a world beater. And Nyla Rose has not been featured a ton on AEW Dynamite, only the past few weeks. This match feels like it could be put in the middle of the card and people might forget it. That's my worry, because that feels like what happened with Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander at their last pay-per-view, Revolution, which I saw live.
That is the problem that they're having right now with their women's division. And to be fair, that's the problem you're going to have when you have people invested in your main event scene. I think in WWE, there's a clear picture of like, people want Becky Lynch and people want Charlotte Flair. In AEW, people want Cody and Jericho. So sometimes the women are going to go the other wayside. This, to me, depends on whether or not Britt Baker is healthy. Because if you'd asked me this at this exact time yesterday, I would have told you she just got a shot. Because she can win, and then Baker can take it from her. But if Baker's not healthy, I think there's no reason to take it off of Nyla, and we continue going with the native beast.
This question coming in from Nick Fund. When are they going to let fans in? Well, there's this whole worldwide pandemic involving this very contagious disease.
What are you talking about? I haven't heard a single thing about this.
And how...
When did this happen? Kevin, no. When did this happen?
Well, Robert, you don't leave your house anyway. So.
Yeah, so that's exactly what that is.
So when are they going to let fans in? This was something that Cody Rhodes discussed a little bit today on the media call, and I got to hear a portion of it that he did. And he talked about how he thinks at this point, even with other parts of the country opening up and welcoming the idea of some limited crowd, he said there's a possibility of them doing shows for smaller crowds, you know, and to be frank, AEW was, you know, outside of their big pay-per-views, they were drawing a few thousand people at shows. They were drawing healthy crowds, but depending on what market they were in, they weren't selling out. Some markets they were, you know, but they were doing really good. And could they do shows with like a small crowd and have that be fun? At this point, yeah. You know, I've been saying this for weeks. If and when you get live wrestling in front of fans in the next year or so, it will not be an arena full of people. I don't see that happening.
The issue is you're going to end up with a mad dash for tickets.
And I'll say this. I don't think you'll be able to buy them. I think you'll have to win them. I think you have to be tested before you get in. I think it'll be a stricter process. I think fans will be chosen. Are you healthy? Can your entire family of four come to this event, and can you be tested? And do we know if you'll be tested? And will you sign this document saying do you want to go through all that? Is everyone going to want to do that to go to a show? I don't think everyone's going to want to do that. But if an AEW or a WWE or any wrestling company can find 200 people that they know are clean and ready to go, all right, you're going to come in, and here's the setup, and you're 6 feet away from each other. Is that enough? Do you want to go through all those logistical hoops and take those risks? Some people aren't going to say they want to do that until they're pretty sure there's a vaccine out there. And then even on top of that, distribution. So Nick Fun talking about specifically Cody's comments about AEW and live wrestling being in front of fans in general. He has addressed one thing that we've heard about that we have not reported, and we know that is happening around AEW events, and even to a degree some WWE events down in Orlando. Now, AEW has been broadcasting from the Daily Center in Jacksonville, Florida. They returned there. They were in Norcross, Georgia for some time as well. But they are at the Daily Center, and this is a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars facility owned by the Khan family. There are AEW fans going to the parking lot. And there are fans going to the parking lot trying to get a glimpse of the show, trying to find some way to watch it, something like that. And Cody said they've come out to the parking lot and waved to the fans and stayed away and different things like that, and haven't done the handshakes and different things like that. Another thing that I thought of that he mentioned, he's like, well, address them, but you're not going to be able to see the show. One thing he said is, I don't think you're going to see people shaking hands in the wrestling business again. And that was kind of surprising when I heard that. I was like, wow, shaking hands. Like, I've been in an indie show just working and doing the stick man stuff, and I was just the stick man. I was just like, interview people on camera to do their promos, right? Simple role. I was told when I came in, you shake everyone's hand. Someone walks up to you and they look at you, now you shake their hand.
That's going to be subjective, though, because if you look they're already doing it on WWE. Bryan shook Gulak's hand.
Yeah.
I think Rollins and McIntyre shook hands. So it's going to be one of those things that is subjective. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I know that Dr. Fauci had said that, handshaking as we know it should just stop completely. I don't know if that will ever actually be a thing. You have many, traditional minded people who, when you meet somebody, you shake their hand. I
love this. Dr. D. David Schultz will be at the door. Dr. D. David Schultz, who I want to tell you, I don't think is a doctor, from WWE 80s wrestling fame. And of course, the man who slapped Stoltz in the face on ABC 2020 and then people thought he got blackballed from WWE. Dark Side of the Ring, great episode. Maybe my favorite episode of the show.
How dare you suggest that David Schultz is not a doctor?
He's a bounty hunter. So maybe, man, I'll have him go get your ass.
He's a doctor. I would never question the good goddamn word.
He's a doctor putting boots in asses. That's what he is.
And he's surgically removing them too. I would never suggest or call into question the good goddamn word of Dr. D. David Schultz.
the good goddamn word. Talk about AEW Double or Nothing, and we will take your questions here in just a minute. Do want to talk about all the different stories we are covering at WrestleZone.com. Full results of WWE NXT. They had their big episode featuring Drake Maverick winning his livelihood back for just another week, and he will be moving along in the NXT Cruiserweight tournament against Kushida and Jake Atlas. The two of them will fight for the winner of the Block B competition to move on and face the winner of Block A. So that has been compelling television. They're also building to the upcoming NXT TakeOver in Your House, and coverage of WWE building to Backlash, which will feature Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. We're covering also the sad situation with the passing of Shad Gaspar, the wrestling world responding to that. I don't think we need to get into much detail. Such a sad story. But we are kind of aggregating all of that in one place for you at WrestleZone.com.
Radine Fierro wants to know about the John Cena story.
She wants to know about this John Cena story.
She wants to know about the John Cena story. You know what? It's been out for a few hours. A few sites last night already had it up while we were talking about it.
Is she texting you right now?
No, she texted into the chat.
Okay, all right. I didn't see that.
Nicole basically said, she said this on the morning show with Maria Menounos, that it was a good story. It was a positive story. And she thought, John, wouldn't you want to get high fives for this? It's just that we were wild and he was very strong. But He said no. So there you go. So John Cena is still, he's a very proud man, but he ain't gonna brag, and he ain't even gonna let his ex do the bragging for him. John Cena just so happens to be the most humble man in the wrestling business and apparently in the bedroom.
That would be ridiculous. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, go back to that episode. We just had a lot of fun with it. I don't want to get more into it. But you guys got to check out this episode if you haven't seen it from last night. It's pretty ridiculous. Double or Nothing, ringing out the card. Jon Moxley versus Mr. Brody Lee, leader of the Dark Order cult, the Exalted One. This title stays on Jon Moxley. Am I wrong?
You know, I honestly don't know because can Brody afford a loss this early on? This is a catch.
Was it too early? I've heard a lot of people say it was a little bit too early to put him in this scenario.
I think it was. However, I think, and I've said this before, I like the match because as a match in front of nobody, it's good to call on a match that's already happened. Like John and Brody have fought as Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper already in front of fans. This is not a match that fans will be missing out on. It's not like a first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's good.
Yeah, I agree. I also think Jon Moxley has a lot to prove that, AEW was right in bringing him along and offering the deal and making him their champion. And this is a scenario where he, even in the testing times of no fans being there, feels the need. He's the guy who's waved that flag. He said that in our interview that we did with him to promote his movie Cage Fighter Worlds Collide, that he feels that he has to carry this flag and carry this torch as the champion, wearing the big platinum, as they call it. And I think the match will be strong. I think the match that absolutely will steal the show will be the Stadium Stampede. I think it'll be the match that people are memeing and dreaming about and talking about. There'll be a bunch of different freaky things in that with a lot of crazy personalities in it. I think it'll be the equivalent to WWE's Wild Money in the Bank match at headquarters, just in terms of there'll be a lot of comedy in it and a lot of wild physicality. So that is what I'm expecting.
I would expect to see a little bit of the bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect to see quite a lot of Young Bucks spot monkey behavior. And I'm going to expect to see the birth and debut of Vanguard 2.
Oh, a new drone. So there we are. It'll be something different. AEW, once again, this Saturday night on pay-per-view. No fans will be present, but you can watch from home on pay-per-view. Ask people in their 30s what pay-per-view is. So that'll be going on. Let's get into questions, dude. Let's just free flow it. Let's just grab a hold, right? That's what they're saying in wrestling. We're ready for any questions you got.
I think
what's
we do
going on in the world of wrestling.
And then you got some cool things going on in your other world, Kevin.
Yes, I do. It is going on right now, and I was kind of compelled to. I was compelled to have it on in the background, but I don't have it on now. And it is 101 WKQX. We are doing something I'm really, really proud of. This is the alternative rock radio station that you hear me on in Chicago, and we've played a lot of great music that you love, like 21 Pilots, Green Day, Nirvana, all these wonderful bands. But these bands, known for playing arenas and huge festivals in front of hundreds of thousands of people, got their career started in what you would call kind of the equivalent of independent wrestling. And it's independent music venues. Great rock clubs like Nirvana. Nirvana played before they became a big arena band. Played great rock clubs in Chicago, like the Metro. We had Joe Shanahan, the owner of the Metro, on air this morning on 101 WKQX, a 34-hour radio marathon. It is going on right now with the KQX Morning Crew. A lot of fun stories. I'm going to be on air later this afternoon, driving around Chicago with my roommate, Andy, who I know is healthy, and we're going to have our face masks on. And I may have him play keyboard on the hood of his car in front of these empty music venues, which I think will be quite the scene. They don't know that's going to happen. And we have some great sponsors in it. Goose Island Beer, one of the most delicious beers brewed right here in Chicago, is sponsoring the whole thing. And it's a really, really fun thing. If you've ever been to Chicago and you've experienced live music, if you've been in a band, this is something that's really cool. It's about the human interest of being in a band and being at a rock club and the people that make that show happen. That's what this fundraiser is for. We're trying to raise money for them, and you can donate and listen right now at 101wkqx.com. You can donate to any of the 34 venues we're trying to help out through the Chicago Independent Venue League or the civil group just themselves. All the links are up there right now at 101wkqx.com. You can listen on your phone. All right. You can listen on your smart speaker. Just send Alexa, go to listen to 101 WKQX. We're available on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, a lot of different apps. We're breaking the format. We'll have some commercials, but we're absolutely breaking the format. There's been fear that we're going to play something with swears in it left and right. I've heard that this morning. I mentioned the Metro. I was going to get into this. I have this in my notes. We had someone call in and say that they have a son that was conceived at the Metro in the bathroom. So those are fun stories that we've been talking about. I have some fun stories. I'm going to be able to go to some venues I've been able to perform at as a comedian and try not to cry because I can't go inside them. So it's going to be a really, really fun day. And you don't have to be from Chicago to appreciate this. If you're from the Midwest and you've been to Chicago, maybe you've been to Lollapalooza and you went to one of those after shows, 9 times out of 10, they were at one of these clubs. And this is a part of a big effort. You can look up the hashtag Save Our Stages. And that'll have a lot of different content on it. And of course, stream it, listen in for a little bit. Here's some cool stuff. A bunch of different bands are going to be on. I know Cage the Elephant is going to be joining us in the 5 p.m. Central hour today. That's going to be pretty cool. And there's a bunch of cool prizes too. We've gotten jerseys from the Chicago Blackhawks, from the Chicago Bulls, a bunch of different cool stuff that we're getting to give away. So this is really, really cool. Highly suggested, especially if you're just a fan of music. It is definitely something to check out. You ready to jump into questions, dude?
I am, absolutely.
All right. And thank you guys for donating. If you can donate, don't feel like, I don't have that much money. I don't want to know. If you donate like a few dollars, $5, it counts. It counts. It adds up. So go ahead and get in there. Don't feel like you have to bust the bank to do it to be included. One of our great friends, Terrell Diggs. Thank you so much, Terrell. We see you in every show. How about WWE versus AEW dream match? You got a dream match? We're already doing that. We're going a WWE versus AEW. Gotta have it. It's like DC versus Marvel. We gotta have one guy versus another guy. Well, the thing is, a lot of them have already had matches with each other. I think that's worth saying.
I think the Usos and the Young Bucks.
Ooh, dude. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's a great matchup. And we haven't seen that.
We haven't seen that one. And then there's the Being the Elite crossover special of Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega. As I understand it, Kenny Omega killed Adam Cole. He just murdered him. He put something in his energy drink.
Cody mentioned this. They asked him, is Matt Hardy really a part of the Elite? And he talked about how, I have the Nightmare Collective because I kind of want to honor the Elite and be separate from it because those guys are the OGs. Matt Hardy's a kind of a battlefield member of it, right? But he brought up past people that were a part of it, and he mentioned Adam Cole, God rest his soul. He brought it up like he was departed. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that would be amazing. That would be
amazing.
I have one. And I saw him kind of lay the challenge out at Ace Comic-Con just about maybe 2 years ago. And this was in Chicago, and it went viral very, very quickly. Is when Seth Rollins was at the top of the game in WWE and said, I think I'm the best wrestler in the world. And the other person that people say is the best wrestler in the world is this guy from New Japan Pro Wrestling, by the name of Kenny Omega. I think Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega is just it sends chills down my spine, man. I think that would be a dream match. Just two great, perfect, majestic, athletic personalities that just deliver big time matches. I would love to see where that would go. I'd be a fan of that here. More questions kind of coming in here. This one, Carl texting in. Could outdoor shows be an option to introduce fans back to shows? Here's the thing. I know everyone is eager to get back to shows. And as much as we see things open up, or hey, you can come here and have live sports with no fans. That is a new thing that is happening in the United States. I'm going to say that I got this kind of non-verbal, but it was alluded to note from Cody today on the media call, and a little bit from WWE, because it seems like that's the position they're going into for the foreseeable future. I think everything comes out of Jacksonville and Orlando right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
I don't think they move. It's more of a risk to take your guys and go do a show somewhere with no one there. Even just to move the crew, you're gonna have to go into a whole level of testing because you're exposing them to a whole new hybrid of germs and different things in a different environment. I wrote an article a few weeks ago about how on the 16th, we're now a good week removed from it. Arizona wanted live sports. They wanted live sports with no fans, but they wanted them there. And that opened up the window for WWE possibly going there, but I just don't see it. They have the facilities. They own everything. They operate everything. They can go in and out of their facilities as much as they want. And so does AEW with Daily Place. They have the run of the roost there. This isn't like when you rent an arena, and the live event business for wrestling, even on the independent level, is going to be very, very different, even on the other side of this pandemic.
Yeah, and as I've said before on this show, I think it's dumb to think that, okay, well, Arizona wants sports, so we'll give them WWE in front of nobody. Why would they lift all that stuff, travel, run all that risk, when you're going to do the same thing in front of nobody anyway? To Carl's point, outside dining is becoming a huge thing for restaurants.
Yeah, even in Chicago, and we're one of the hot spots in the country, there is talk of that possibly happening in June. So, I mean, if there is shows, I do think that is the possibility, and you could almost say that Daily Place is an amphitheater. It's open air. Logistically, they have something there.
They do, and I think it could be a way to introduce fans back, but it's going to be when they're ready. As of right now, we know that IWA is about 3 weeks away from running a show with people.
Something makes me think that doesn't happen. I don't have any word on that. I'm just being purely speculative. Yeah, there's just something about that makes me think it is a no-go, that we don't see that happen in the next few weeks here. IWA Mid-South in Indiana wants to do death matches, not just wrestling. They want to do bloody tubes and all that stuff. And also, no shot that their shows aren't drawing 400 or 500 people, So there's something to be said for that. Why now of all the times? It just seems like you're testing the limits of people's patience with this health crisis at the wrong time. Mind you, they're doing it in Indiana, a state that isn't nearly as severely affected as mine.
So,
yeah. They do have cases, but other people are going to say, well, what's the level of testing and all this different stuff? So it's a lot of hearsay.
It's always going to be hearsay.
Yeah. So let's get into more questions here. Is there any more that you see popping up there, Robert, that pique your interest?
Who won the ratings war? I see from Terrell Diggs. Well, Terrell, we're probably going to find that out in about 15 minutes. Yeah. I don't know if we'll be on the air because Kevin does have to run the Save Our Stages event.
Yes.
So
I'm going to be doing that. So do you want to take a bet? You want to bet on this? Because people are going to be watching this after they know. That'll be releasing the podcast of it. I think AEW is going to get the night.
Well, I think that is a fair assumption. I would take that bet, but I think that you're right, so I'll just agree with you instead.
Also, The Masked Singer was on last night. Was that their season finale?
That was their finale.
So I do think that's going to shake up everything in terms of the ratings. So who knows? I also think that show's been such a you see that
18 to 49. The network numbers are out, not the cable numbers. 18 to 49 for The Masked Singer. 2.3.
That's huge. That's a huge audience.
With 8 million
share in the United States.
8,721,000 people watching The Masked Singer.
And it's such a simple concept too. You know what I mean? What a wrestling concept. Put somebody in a mask and reveal who's wearing the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Lots of high numbers for The Masked Singer. High numbers for Ultimate Tag as well, which is the most bizarre competitive sports show I've ever seen.
And that is a sport, though, right? Competitive tag.
People play tag competitively, yes.
So ridiculous. That's what we're reduced now. We're reduced to a sport where you're not supposed to touch each other. Yeah, man. Here we go. Michael Texian. Is the rumor about AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling working together? Is that true?
Nope. It'll be a rumor forever, and all sides want it. It's a matter of coming together, and we have yet to do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the first major wrestling promotions to kind of just close up shop because of this, because of their, where they are in the region. And
they have said they'll be coming back soon with no fan events.
Yeah, so they will be back at some point, but they also seem to have some very, very strict regulations about that. There were live wrestling events a few weeks ago in Japan. But those have been limited as well. So people have their temperatures checked when they come in. Everyone has to wear a face mask. How many wrestling fans are going to be turned away from a wrestling show when they're told they have to wear a face mask? And how many of them are going to be like, I ain't putting anything. How am I supposed to cheer? How am I supposed to cheer, dude? How am I supposed to cheer?
It's a good point. I don't know. I've been out to the store a few times. I've had to wear that mask. It's not you gotta get used to it. It's gonna be interesting to see if a lot of people together wearing a mask is gonna cause any friction. I don't know. It's a real odd time that we're in, so you can't really even assume anything.
This question coming in, the Stadium Stampede match that will be on pay-per-view from AEW Double or Nothing this Saturday night. Is that elimination rules? How could you do an elimination match with like 4 different guys running all over the place?
No, it is not elimination rules. It is
one fall to a finish?
One fall to a finish, and I think it's going to be chaos.
Dude, one fall to a finish sounds like a hardcore metal band, doesn't it? From like 2003. Who's opening up for Hatebreed? It's one fall to a finish.
You know what? I'm down with it. I think we need to make that band, Kevin.
Here comes a breakdown. There you go, dude. There you go. We just wrote a song. We just wrote a song there. One fall to a finish here.
We did.
A lot of people with different takes here. When is this? When will Rock's daughter? Here we go. Laura Rock. Thank you, Laura Rock. Laura Rock related to The Rock? Maybe. Who knows? Distantly. Laura texts in and says, when will The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, start to do in-ring shows? I think that's your question here, Laura. That is a very, very hard question. Everyone has a different process when they get introduced to wrestling, but talk about the pressure on Simone Johnson to come in here. You're the daughter of The Rock, recruited directly into WWE's Performance Center. And that is, that was mainstream news that his daughter got picked up by them.
Yep.
I don't know. There's no timetable on something like that. There's no timetable. There's some people who have been hired by WWE at the Performance Center as athletes and brought completely in with no pro wrestling experience at all, and you don't hear anything from them, or they're very limited and you never see them on television, if at all. Maybe they just get used to her enhancement matches. But the thing is with her, there's no way you can just have her go out there and do enhancement matches. There's no way.
I think that she's on TV sooner than later.
Oh, okay.
And I would say that within a year she's on TV.
Okay, that seems fair.
But then again, she's only 18, so maybe not. It's hard, man.
I got questions here. We got Jake the Snake going to be managing the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, against Cody this Saturday at Double or Nothing. Does he get snakes? We haven't seen him bring snakes. He's had a snake on Brandy, right?
He draped the snake over Brandy.
He was very creepy about that, and that was always creepy. This one was extra creepy.
He was super creepy about it, and he was super creepy afterward as well. Like just saying, "Oh yeah, I'd like to get a chance to get near her again." It was like, wow. All right, Jake.
That's some 2020 heat, bro.
Very good 2020 heat.
Oh, this is a question. Tommy B, big fan of the show. Trucking there. I love that avatar. Just trucking. Big old 18-wheeler. Kevin and Robert, classic Memphis days. Who are your top 5? Lawler at the top of his game. Jerry Lawler, Memphis Wrestling. We're coming to you every single week.
Do you have an answer for this? Because I can kind of
You
go
go
off
ahead.
on-
I do want to say this. I have not seen the documentary about Memphis wrestling, which if you want to talk about people marking out, it is phenomenal. I've heard great things about the documentary Memphis Heat, but there is a documentary that I saw on Comedy Central as a kid. And mind you, I was already a wrestling fan. This is like in the Attitude Era. And it was all about Andy Kaufman.
I'm from Hollywood.
And I'm from Hollywood, and you're from Memphis, Tennessee. You rednecks. I'm from Hollywood. And it was
I used to love when that came out. On
oh,
Comedy
dude,
Central.
Andy Kaufman deserves to be in any Hall of Fame in wrestling, and even in promotions he wasn't in. He was, I think, the most creative celebrity to ever embrace wrestling, and he did stuff in Memphis of all places. He didn't do it in WWE. He did it in Memphis, and they were already a huge market and brought Jerry Lawler to national television, and the angles were fun. And also, like, people thought he only did like a handful of things. He was there for like a year doing stuff all the time. And got he paid for an ambulance when he took a pile driver to sell it, just to sell it.
I believe, and I've seen this. I believe that his headstone actually reads, "Tell Lawler that pile driver actually hurt." Andy Kaufman was a great performer, top notch. As far as top 5 Lawler opponents at the top of his game, you can't go wrong with that. With saying Bill Dundee, the back and forth that they had. Tommy Rich,
Buddy Rich.
Tommy Rich, that was a great feud. I love the Vince McMahon 1983 stuff. That got me.
That is hard to find, though, right? Is there video of that?
There's little bits and pieces on YouTube of it. It actually got me into Memphis. I became a huge fan. Also, the stuff the USWA did with ECW. I mean, it's just a great extension of a lot of things. And I love Memphis wrestling. I encourage all of you to look it up. It's good shit.
So people texted me here. I do want to mention this. If you haven't seen it, Jerry Lawler versus Terry Funk. You want to talk about no fan matches? They did this in the 80s. They did a no fans match at an arena, and they're knocking down chairs. It was the whole arena was set up. It was pretty brutal. They do that for television. You want to seek that out. That's a really, really cool match here. And of course, unique stuff with Vince McMahon. Before he was Mr. McMahon, he went there and it was a heel. And that was when he was an announcer. That was like years before he did the corporate.
That's good 5 years.
Stuff. Yeah, so it was like it completely predates all that stuff here. Other people bringing up Austin Idol. Yeah, that's definitely a Memphis name if I've ever heard one here. Great question there, Tommy B. But to go to Memphis wrestling, such a special world here. Different takes here. Oh, here we go. This question about any match card rumors for In Your House, the upcoming NXT takeover. Well, we know we're gonna get Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. That was announced last night. It looks like we're gonna get Finn Balor versus Damian Priest as well.
He pretty much said In Your House.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be interesting. I think we're getting Dream and Cole in some kind of gimmick match. Maybe ladder, maybe a cage. Who knows? I would think Imperium against Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan in a great tag match.
Dude, throw them up. I love one of my favorite tag teams is Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. There is nothing like super original about what they're doing. So I'm just going to say that. But the pairing of a roughneck Boston guy with a roughneck English guy, the throw them up, the simple, we're just going to kick your ass. Like that is what their gimmick is. And there's something about just laying into what works and focusing exclusively on that. Like they had one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen at NXT TakeOver Chicago against the Undisputed Era. If you want to just see a barn burner tag team match to have on in the background, go seek that out. Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan versus the Undisputed Era from about maybe 2 years ago. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to that. I would love to see them get the belts. That'd be pretty cool. Also, as a bald man, we're talking an all bald dude tag team main event. All follically challenged, but ready to fight. That's what I'm about, baby. I'm all about it. Bald is beautiful.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan said it, so it's fine. There we go. Other people with different takes here. Nishad texting and saying Lorcan and Birch remind me of Furnace and LaFawn. Oh wow, that's a
That's
deep
a
cut.
name.
I haven't heard that name in a while there. Definitely here. And of course, other people saying classic Memphis is better than WWE anyhow, without a question. So people gotta love their Memphis wrestling. Nothing wrong there, man. Man, everybody has to take down WWE, right? Gotta get them coming
Memphis was they were well ahead of that curve.
down. Yeah, they were always talking trash, right? About New York.
Yes.
Man, we've had a lot of fun today. You have fun today, man?
We always have fun, Kevin.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. If you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to give it a 5-star review. We are going to start reading your 5-star reviews in the future on the show. So if you listen on iTunes, go give it a 5-star review. Google Play, 5-star review. You listen on TuneIn, go ahead and favorite the podcast. You know when we're coming up here. We also have a bunch of different content on there, including Survey Says. Those are individual show reviews. You just want a quick 20-minute review, not the full 15-minute show with us. You can go check that out as well. Check out our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of fun content up there, including an interview with Sammy Guevara from AEW leading up to the pay-per-view this weekend. So a lot of fun there. And once again, go check out 101 WKQX. We are doing the Save Our Stages 34-hour radiothon, which is going on right now. When we're done, go listen to 101 WKQX on TuneIn, on iHeart, and donate whatever you can at 101WKQX.com. I'm going to be rushing out of here to go stand with a face mask and gloves in front of all these great rock venues, and you will hear me on the radio.
You will. And, I think it's a great cause what you guys are doing, and I encourage everybody to donate. We all love the local shows. We love to support the local scene, but people have to make that happen, and this is a way to help the people who make it happen. So, yes, I encourage you all to do that. And you know what else I encourage you to do?
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to just let go of your bias, let go of your negativity, and just enjoy wrestling